Do you do acting?
Who?
Do you do acting? Have you fight choreography
No.
films?
You can go.
Oh, welcome to a special episode of Meticulous Moments. John Vanis here today. I will be hosting this show. I will be interviewing the founder of the show, Juanita Kapp. She is founder and owner of Meticulous Moments, founder and owner of Meticulous Martial Arts Masterminds, co-founder and owner of Captar Connection, co-founder of the Business Pro Less podcast, executive team member at CLA, executive team member at TPC, Hoinson Media Group brand ambassador, mixed martial artist, and overall just seems like a cool, fun woman that's always busy. How you doing today?
You.
You doing good?
Yeah, I'm always good. We always have fun, you and I. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. And I just listed all this. Seems like a lot of stuff that's involved here that you were a part of. May I ask you, what was your inspiration, or who was your inspiration to get you going?
Yeah, my mom was really my inspiration. She was a strong woman, vibrant woman, fun, always filled with laughter and joy and hope. And she sat me down one day and she said, Juanita, you can really do anything you put your mind to. And so I did. Her wish for me was always just to have fun and to live life and to be happy to the full extent. So when I went to high school, my teacher, who's also my hockey coach, he was my hockey coach, Ian Lowe, shout out to him. We're still friends to this day. He came to me and he said, Juanita, I see you doing tennis and hockey and cross country, and you're always doing debates. You're doing public speaking and acting, and you're in the athletics, and, academically, you are doing very well. And I thought you was going to say, narrow it down a little bit, or jack of all trades, master of none. But instead of doing that, he looked at me and he said, Juanita, the more you do, the more you can do. And that encouraged me just to be myself. So now, from that day on up to now, if I have an idea, I go for it. If there's something I want to do, I do it when I want to do it the way I want to do it, because I believe that, we all have a special part to play, every single one of us in this world. And God has gifted us, and we're supposed to give those gifts and talents back to others so that we can make the world a better place.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because a little while ago I had a couple people, like I talked about on my interview, that were just always down and critiquing, and they always had something to say about something. But the funny thing is, they ain't doing nothing. They're probably not doing nothing now. But if you're watching the show, check it out. I'm hosting the show, and you're not. But,
Yes, you are.
but I'm saying, though, but I do. I have wonderful people, and it's great to have. Like I said, you got Jovel, and you've got Christiana Lucas. I said it in the other interview. She's magic. She's miracle. You just see her, you smile. I've got Baby G. I've got Glenda Hoop. I got Tony Young, Ernest. I have all these wonderful people around me, and I kept thinking to myself, why am I so depressed? And I just really couldn't. It was like, not in a negative way. I just wasn't happy. And then somebody said, get rid of the drama. And it was coincidentally the person that said, get rid of the drama. I got rid of them. And I'm happy now. So that's just how it goes. And, I thank God every single day for the wonderful people. I pray every day
Yeah.
well. And besides your mom and the teacher person, who else is your inspiration now? I mean, you have all this stuff I just listed and more. And if I pronounced anything wrong, please forgive me. But I'm just saying, who do you like to be around, like, on your time off? Who brings the positive?
Yeah, I just want to thank you from Meticulous, for being the host of the show today. You had this wonderful idea, to do this. And I'm deeply thankful and grateful. And I thought to myself, who better than the vibrant, funny, and amazing John Vanis to host this day? You are doing a great job, John. I'm having fun.
Say it again. Say it again. Say the awesome part again.
John Vanis is awesome.
No, but, no, like I said, I had fun doing it because I've always turned all these types of shows down. It was just in the place of my life, and it's not about me, not at all. But I enjoyed it, and I trusted you and you stayed right on point. You didn't ask me questions that I didn't like. You knew that I didn't want to answer. You didn't put me on the spot. You respected me. So I was just how it came about. Like, I'm letting the audience know. As I said, have you ever done your own show? And then when you asked me, and I'm just sitting there thinking, honestly, to do the show, honestly, I knew it's going to drive those people nuts because now I'm hosting the show for a day, having fun with John. Let's have some fun.
Bravo!
But
yeah, you're doing exceptionally well.
But honestly, I have people that I see, they make me smile. Some are magic, some are miracles. They are. I got Ernest, but Christiana Lucas, I got Baby G. Who else in your everyday life do you try to absorb their energy?
Oh, I know so many impeccable leaders. I've been all over the globe, going to leadership conferences. I belong to executive teams on 2 leadership groups, but tomorrow I'll be announcing that I've added a 3rd executive team that I belong to. And, all of these wonderful high caliber leaders, public speakers, authors that I work with, just exceptional human beings. I have to say, first of all, my Kiyoshi. He's a 7th Dan in Shorin Khan. He also teaches us mixed martial arts. We don't just do kata, kumite, and bladed and wooden weapons. He also teaches us self-defense. And he studies the art with us. We learn the Japanese, we learn the moves, we learn the bunkai, which means we know and understand what a move is for. It's not just to dance, it's not just to do it to be pretty. So the self-defense, he really gives us a well-rounded view. And, the dojo really became my family, because in essence it's just me and the kids now, since my mom passed away in 2020. And the dojo is my family. My Kiyoshi is, of course, someone that I look up to, his family as well. Absolutely. So I draw energy from him. Also the leaders that I go to their events to. I went to JR Spears Business Leaders Network Executive Summit, where I was a speaker. I did some teaching there on the foundational aspects of business and leadership diversity in corporations. And then I was also on the business panel with another beautiful leader, amazing man, family man with impeccable values, Brent Stone. So I can, name Brent Stone. We were on the business bar. I'm on the team with him at the CLA. Phenomenal leader. There's so many, Jim Hetherington, so many leaders that I walk with, that we learn from each other, and I always tell people, it doesn't matter how many years you are in the ministry, in the corporate world, in the martial arts, whatever field you are in, you always have to stay teachable. You always have to know there's something that you don't know that you're going to learn, because none of us know everything, and that's the adventure of life, right?
You're right, because honestly, I'm a person, and I love to learn, and I said that like when you interviewed me, and I'm not trying to reflect back on that amazing interview. I'm just kidding, but no, I do. No, I'm having fun. Honestly, I'm actually just thinking about it. If anybody's, I could use my own talk show, but no, but honestly, when I'm teaching, when I'm teaching, and I don't care who it is, if they have something to bring to the table and show me, I'm always willing to open. There's so many people out there, they just think because they call themselves, the best or whatever, they're closed-minded. They're closed-minded, and closed-minded will never get you anywhere. And my idol right now, I look up to Ernest Miller. He's done it all, movies, done, and all this stuff. But he's always, the way he's always willing to listen to me on anything. I just learn a lot from him on the good vibes. But if you're closed-minded, you ain't learning. If you're not learning, you're sitting still. And if you're sitting still, I don't want to be around you. That's how I look at it. Just
Mm.
it's not about me, but what I'm saying is you're right.
Yeah.
Can I say what belt are you going for?
I'm brown one at the moment. I would have been black already. I'm going to go for black belt soon. In 2020, 2021, and the middle of 2022, we were not allowed to grade because of the full contact nature of our sport. They wanted to adhere to the COVID regulations, but we still kept training. So at first we only trained virtually, and later we trained with masks, which was horrible. Absolutely, I could not stand it. Doing all that exercise with that mask on. But we did the hand sanitizer thing. We did staying away from each other thing in the masks, and so it's been a 2.5 year delay. But I'm delighted to say that that will happen soon, and it was good. There was a lesson to be learned in that as well. And
That,
coming back to what you said about stagnant people are like negative, energetically driven human beings. And if you look at water, if water is stagnant, it becomes all gooey and gross and stinky, and only a river and water that flows. And martial arts is a lot like that. And I also say life is also a lot like that. I always say I ride the waves, I don't control them. Water that flows, people that are busy with something, people that are actively pursuing their hopes and their dreams and their wishes and their happiness, those are the people I want to be around. Because they perform, and
yeah,
they're open and they're loving and they're smiling. It's I love people, absolutely.
yeah, and honestly, I'll never put anyone down. And like I said, that I'm not putting anyone down directly. I'm just talking like in general. Is like there's people that will always, like we discussed before, that will always say you can't do something, and it's like when you asked me to do this thing, and I was like, oh, yeah, but honestly, I was just sitting there thinking, I never thought I'd be sitting on this side asking you questions, and I'm just saying, I don't have a problem with those type of people that they don't have no ambition, they have no goals, they have nothing. I have one goal right now, and actually, there's a lot of goals I have right now. I can't even list them. I'm very excited, and in God's timing, He's going to have it all work out.
Yeah,
But for people that don't have any goals or dreams, I actually feel sad for them, but I'm not wasting my energy on them. I'm not going to try to convince them, because negative energy is wasted energy, and I just don't want
that's
them
it.
in my life. Not they got to understand. I just don't want it. I'm very on the go. I like to go.
Yes.
I'm hyper. I'm ready to go. I'm happy.
I think that's why we get along so well, because we're always on the go and we're both hyper.
Yeah, I
We're
don't.
always busy with something.
I don't like being told that I can't do something,
Yes.
because I've always looked at it. I've always looked at it. If another human being can do it, I can do
Yeah.
it. And I'm not talking
Yeah.
about somebody going to make a comment below saying brain surgery. I have no. You really don't want me as Dr. Vanis, even though I played and I did pretty good. But what I'm saying, I'm just saying, if another human being can do it, you can do it. If you could try to, if
That's
you
it.
if you try for it, I respect the heck out of you. But if you sit there and you talk yourself out of it,
Ah.
I don't have respect for that.
Yeah, I'm the
So,
same. I'm the same. And another thing I want to point out to the audience about you, John, is when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And I respect you for that, because I'm the same. Last year when I just came back from, no, this year when I just came back from an event that I was emceeing in New Jersey, JR contacted me from the BLN, from the Business Leaders Network, and he said, Juanita, come to my entrepreneur summit in St. Louis. And I said, I'm coming to your entrepreneur summit in St. Louis, And, as the time drew closer, people were like, are you still going to go? Are you still going to go? And I said online, I said, listen, guys, you don't understand. If I commit to something, if I said I'm going to do something, I do it. So guess what I did? I flew from my airport to the main airport, international airport here in South Africa. Then I flew to Frankfurt. Then I flew to New York. And then I flew to St. Louis. But I was at the event because I made a promise that I would be there. And you also mentioned something about people that want to put limitations on us. And people say, yeah, but you can't do this. You'll never be able to do this and that. I was sitting in a pastor's office, a high ranking pastor, and I think it was 2008, 2009. And he looked at me because I didn't fit the profile of a normal pastor. I was loud and I was vibrant and I did a lot of different things, singing, songwriting, but I also did the youth, and I'm blonde for one. I didn't fit that mold. I have tattoos, all of those things that people put, on us to say we have to be a certain type of person and so forth. And he looked at me and he said, you'll never achieve anything in the ministry. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? Watch me. I'm going to do it. And you know what I did? I worked very hard for 15 years and I became, as a woman, an ordained pastor in the church because I decided that day he's not going to tell me what I can and cannot do.
Yeah. No, you're right. And to your story, and like what you just said, I had a similar story. I was living in Florida at the time, and I was flying out to LA I had a meeting out there with a director, and I was blessed. Somebody, got me, and the guy was really nice. Won't say his name. And then my flight got canceled. So I felt bad because I couldn't show up. So I said, hey, can you give me, I said, honestly, I called him. I'm like, hey, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. I said, can you do it in 3 or 4 days? I'll give you my word. I will be there. I drove from Sarasota, Florida to that part in California, and I sat there for a 30-minute meeting just to meet the guy because I said I'd do it. But what I'm saying is, when you say you're going to do something, just do it, or have a good excuse. Don't say you're working on things, and I don't care for that. It's a sign of laziness. It's just
That's
I
it.
have people Ernest, I have people Big G, and all these people around me jovial. They say they do something, they do it. I was around people that would tell me, "Oh yeah, I'll get it to you in the email. I'll send you your footage. I'll send you this. I'll send you this." Years go by, I still never got nothing. So
Yeah.
and I have a question for you. Besides physical martial arts and training,
Yeah.
GM Jovelyn, my GM, the wonderful, beautiful Jovelyn Mendoza, of founder of La Hookah, and Ernest, Jovelyn got me into training the mind. Do you ever work on training the mind?
A big part of my life is centered around that. I do that daily. I do that in the form of meditation, and I also do it in the form of journaling and manifestations. Now, my meditation works like this. In the morning when I wake up, I'll explain to the audience what I do. Now, I've been doing it for so long, 5 or 10 minutes is fine for me, because I've honed that I can let everything else go out of my mind. You'll know you're a martial artist when you go into that dojo. Your mind is empty because your body needs to learn, and you forget your problems outside. You don't take those with you. So in the morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is I start to meditate. So I'll either put on music or I'll sing a song in my mind, and then I'll think of myself as that energy flowing. I'll see it. I'll imagine I see the energy flowing in my body. Let's say I've had a tough training session, or maybe I slept wrong with my neck, or maybe I have a headache, or maybe I'm feeling a little bit anxious about my fast-paced day that's lying ahead. I will calm my breathing. I have breathing exercises that I've been doing for years. I do different breathing exercises for when I meditate or when I fight or when I'm just training or even when I'm hiking, because breathing is very, very important. So in the morning when I do that, I will think of that energy going to that place. Let's say I have a sore hamstring, and I'll imagine that energy going to the sore hamstring and replace that negative, that painful energy with good energy. But what I learned, what works for me, now this might not work for everybody, is when I've sent that good energy, I forget about it because it's done now. It's healed now. It's in order now for the day. So what else I do is I love to journal. I write down things, that I trust the universe for. I often get up in the morning and I stand, next to my bed and I lift my hands and I ask the universe, how much better can this day get? And there are so many miracles that happen in my day, John. I've got a whole list because I write them down at the end of the day. And I also like to do manifestations. That's when I go to my rock and I stand there and I just speak to the air and the universe and the nature, and I just proclaim. the things that I want in life and the things that make me happy.
What
So mental fitness, very important.
that's wonderful. I do. It's not about me. I'm just saying. It's just that's. I'm glad you answered it like that. And uh, may I ask if I brought my old neighbor? She's 245 years old to South Africa, Glendahoo. Is there a place I could take her? Is there a place I could take her so she could swim with the great whites? She is the inspiration to a lot of people because she's got multiple sclerosis. She uses a walker, and she's got a personality better than half the men I know. And she's just pure gangster. But
Yes.
what I'm saying is because you talk about traveling here, if I brought her and I pushed her in the ocean, so she with the great whites, you, do you have any do you have any like secret locations, or just text it to me? So Glenda, you're gone.
Glenda, shout out to you, Glenda. We love you. John is seriously funny, and I'm sure you're not over 200 years old, but I know Glenda loves you. She loves you to bits, and no, I won't give you locations to go through, Glenda, to the Great Whites, but I will give you locations to take her for sightseeing.
No. I want her to swim. I want her to swim like with a half a slab of meat up. But
No, this is not my fault. This is all John.
just Glenda. That's for being rude to me on the phone the other day. But yes, I'm in charge. No, but honestly, what where do you see yourself in 5 years? Still in the martial art world? Still conquering the business world? Where do you see yourself? Still doing what you're doing, or are you one of those people that will be off the grid like I will most likely be? Everybody will be like, John Vanis, what happened to him? Because I'm going to disappear. I'll just be like so cool.
There you go.
No, I'm just saying to you, I have goals, but what I'm asking you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like what do you want to do? Martial arts, or still doing the same thing, or do you have a hidden agenda that we don't know about?
Ooh, I don't think I have a hidden agenda, but that would be cool. Maybe I should work on one. 5 years from now, definitely still in the martial arts. It's my dream to immigrate. I'm actually going to immigrate to the US very, very soon. I'll do the announcement as soon as everything's good to go. So it's my dream to go to the US, and continue my business. I absolutely love doing my business. I started it in 2013 already. It has expanded, it has evolved. Meticulous is a product of the business that I started those years. So I'll always be an entrepreneur. I guess I'm still going to do my doctorate. I really feel that I should complete that because I went up to master's level. So I want to immigrate. That's coming soon. I want to also start the dojo because my son wants to be a sensei. So I want to, pave the way for him for that. Keep on with my business entrepreneurship. I've got other projects that I'm not at liberty to talk about at the moment, but it's exciting. And then, do my PhD. Yeah, so in 5 years' time, I think my PhD will take about 2 or 3 years, with my schedule. But I want to complete it. It's something I've always wanted to do.
But no, honestly, the coolest thing out of all of that is you actually have a plan, because I've like we were talking before, there's people out there that I'm working on things, and they think that things are good. Opportunity, like Mr. Ernest, Mrs. Jovelin will say, opportunity ain't knocking on your door. You gotta drive out to LA. You gotta, whatever you're gonna do, pick it down, pick it up, take it out. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. People are so comfortable, they think things are gonna fall into your lap. Nothing really falls into your lap except for crumbs and stuff when I'm eating, and I get mad because that's food. But no, I'm just saying, I take food serious, and no, I put you in touch with Amanda Parker Model. She's one lady too that she's always got some type of plan, and it's inspiring. But there's people out there, as you know, that don't have a plan.
That's it.
And that's it. But what's the point of life if you don't have a plan? I know women. What I'm saying is, God's in charge of my plans, and I love it. I do. But you
Amen.
you have to listen sometimes when God is speaking. I'm not telling you everybody has to believe in God, but I don't really care what everybody does. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
when God is speaking, some people don't choose to hear it, or they don't want to hear it.
Yeah. That's it.
You got to have
That's
a
the truth. You got to have a plan.
plan.
How can you not have a plan? I do business consulting as well. And there's two things. When I do life coaching and business consulting, I have had the hairs on my body raise when I sit with a huge executive company and they tell me they have no business plan. I don't know how that's possible. How can you do business if you don't have a business plan? That's the one thing. And then I was on the Inspired Choices Network the other day with J.R. Spear and the BLN, and he asked me, who do I life coach? Because not everybody that wants to be life coached is a fit for me. I actually first see if we'll be a fit, if it will work. And I said, only people with open minds. Because people have to be able to think in new and different ways. Otherwise, I can't work with them.
And you got to have people, like, honestly, I don't mind, I'll just use GM Jovelin or Ernest or whatever. When they speak, I have to respect it. I've had people that say they're going to do stuff, and I don't respect it. I don't want to be around them. They always say they live in the past. Oh, I've done this, but what are you doing now?
Yes.
I don't care what anyone's done. In the past, I was an alcoholic. I used drugs. I did all that stuff. I had fun. I had fun. But what I'm saying, I got clean and sober. I went to rehab. I found God. I was against God for the longest time. I love it now. But what I'm saying, people that live in the past, it drives me nuts, because what are you doing now? How do you feel about the people that live in the past? Do you ever? I mean, it's about you. How do you feel about they're not doing nothing now, but they'll tell you how they did it before? Well, before I could care less. I was married. I had a house, motorcycle, boats, and all this junk. But today is today. Tomorrow is tomorrow.
That's it. There's nothing as destructive as a toxic friendship or a toxic relationship when you are trying to get somewhere and do something and they kind of break you or try to reel you in or try to be an anchor when your ship wants to sail. And I was also married for 15 years, and I have to say it was a very toxic environment, and I had to make a choice. Either I'm going to be me and do what God has placed me on this earth to do, or I was just going to wither away and die because of everything, all the limitations that were being put on me the whole time, all the toxicity, lots of other things that happen. What I do is I cut myself loose. If people are like that and they are in my life, I don't need people to be a brake on my vehicle. I don't need people to try and pull me in and reel me in. I want to do what God has placed me here to do. Love and light to all. Appreciate everybody. If their input is not something that resonates with my spirit, then that's their opinion, and that's okay with me. But I don't have to internalize that. If they're negative about things that I do, if they have a negative opinion about me, that's their right to have their opinion, but it's not going to stop me. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do it well.
Supportive people are amazing. There's three people I never mentioned before. There's a Tiffany Bulford. There's Felice. Felice is a children's book writer, and then you have Jody Lynn. Jody Lynn. I even came up to put all these people together. I call it the Jody Lynn Team Jody Lynn. It just because they were such wonderful people, but they didn't know each other. And I was trying to figure out how to put everybody together. So I came up with that, because Jody Lynn, they were there for me. It's not about me, but what I'm saying, I had to figure out how to put all these people together. And Jody Lynn, Team Jody Lynn, it's called Jody. It's just a wolf pack of people that trust each other, have each other's back, and they push each other to do good. Like when I was falling, I swear the person that should have been helping me out the most, he was pushing. Stopping. There's people like that in the world. I'm not saying names, and there's not an individual, but I had Baby G, I had a few others that were actually like earnest. They were actually pulling me up. There's two types of people in the world. People that you walk with, and there's people behind you. You never turn your back to look at the people behind you because they slow you down.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say who quoted that one, but I'm just saying I like that. But what you said, and you have a 5-year plan, and So
Yes.
do you after you get your black belt, do you go around just beating people up? What's up?
No, 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 no. I want to continue with martial arts. I'll probably I'll continue until the good Lord comes and takes me one day. It's just something. It became a lifestyle. I can't imagine life without it. But no, I don't use the things that I learned in the dojo to beat people up. I promise. We are taught that it's just for self-defense, and there have been fights that I've walked away from. I have to be honest with you. I've walked away from fights. I live in a very dangerous, kind of setting.
Oh,
So I have
Glenda.
I've walked away from fights. But if someone really, pushes me in a corner and I know it's like life or death, then I'll hurt them. Of course I will,
No,
because I have to defend myself. But I don't like violence really.
I don't. I don't either. I like the fun of it. I like doing what I do. I respect what you're saying, um, and like what you were saying about being married. Like in my marriage, I learned a lot from the lady. I won't say her name.
Yeah.
And until this day, I don't have nothing negative to say about her. And
Yeah.
bless her, haven't spoke to her in four years or whatever. But we I learned. I like you said about learning.
Yes.
I learned patience. I did. And
Yeah.
you learn. And I'm just not like, even on that situation. People, I don't. There's no need to talk bad about anyone. That's
No, never.
it's like I hear these people always saying stuff, but why are you around? I ask them, why are you around these people if they're so awful?
Yeah.
So
That's it.
yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
like to talk bad about people because I believe honestly, God hears everything.
He
So
does. He does.
and
Yeah.
trust me, I ain't no saint. I wasn't no saint in my days. The drinking, the drugs, the good times.
Yeah.
The good times, the good times. No, I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying, I paid the price. I went to
Yeah.
read. What I'm saying is, I just chose the right path and the right
You
people.
did.
So,
You did. That's a beautiful thing. We get to choose our path. I always say to people, the choices we make is the life that we live. I've made a lot of new choices in my life in the last couple of months because, there were certain things that I needed to put into place in my life. I moved out of town. I live on a farm. I want peace and serenity. That's a
I,
choice I had to make. I knew what it was going to entail. I have to drive to the office. I have to manage my time better. I have to plan different things better. But that's a choice that I made because it's the end result that I want. I get to go out onto my porch every day and look at the mountains and enjoy nature and solitude.
no,
So we go through these seasons and we learn a lot from the people that hurt us, but we also learn principles for our road ahead,
I,
which
it, it,
help us.
I like that because I was thinking about that because the people like I said, I'll never put blame on anybody because I put myself in the situations. I put myself in the drugs. I put myself in that world. I put
Yeah,
myself in that transporter world. I did all that stuff. I'm a grown man. I had free will. I did it all. I got married and I learned a lot from it. I wish I could have done better. I wish I was a better person as when I was married, as a husband. There's a lot of things I wish, but I learned from all of it. So going into the next experience, if that ever happens, I've learned from that. And the people that I don't talk to now, that I just don't see eye to eye with, and I never will again. But I learned that's something I don't want to be like. I don't want to be like. I don't want to see. To me, they're still a blessing to me because I learned a lot of what I don't want to be.
that's it.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
it's not my interview, but I'm just saying to you,
beautiful.
the learning is. I, I I won't say nothing bad because I did learn something.
Yeah,
There's always a little bit of good in every bad situation. I'm just being honest. Is I learned a lot. And like people always say to me, "What you always say, trust me," or your word is because I've had people shake my hand, call me brother, oh, your family, and they'll lie to you.
oh,
But I don't want to be like that. So I thank them for showing me how crappy they made me
no,
feel
not to
by
be.
lying. I'll never
Yeah,
do that if I can.
that's
But
it.
we're going on almost 35, 36 minutes of Juanita Kapp, as you asked me in the interview, is there anything you would like to leave the audience, like inspirational quote, a joke, knock joke, sing a song? No, I mean, it just, is there anything that you would like to leave the show,
Yeah,
the interview with? The
of
audience is
course.
waiting.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know any jokes. I don't think I do.
Little baby G,
I
whatever.
love jokes, but I don't tell them.
No, I'm
I
just
do
saying.
sing. I do sing. So visit my YouTube channel at Juanita Kapp 3556. So if you want to hear me sing, I do covers there. Also wrote the gospel album, by the way. Words of wisdom. I always ask this question. Now I'm being asked this question. Live your life and be happy. Success is not measured by the things that the world says it's measured by. If you are happy and you are alive and you are in line with your spirit and you can feel your heartbeat and it resonates with the rest of the universe, you know you have had a successful day. And guess what? When I'm happy, I can move mountains. When I'm happy, I can formulate the most brilliant ideas because my spirit is open. I think sometimes we chase the wrong things. Chase happiness. Chase love and kindness and be a good person. It's not difficult to be a good person. Just be you. And don't hurt other people. Be a good person. Don't talk about behind their backs. Don't tell lies. Just do the things that really resonate with your spirit, the positive things. Grab onto the positive and hold on for dear life because there's external influences from the world. They're all there to drag you down. They're all there to stop you. They're all there to delay your breakthroughs, to close those divine doors on you. If you stay positive, if you keep your energy high, if you just, trust the process a little bit. Sometimes we think about the end result too fast. Trust the process. Enjoy the process. That's how you learn. If you had to just jump from A to Z, you wouldn't learn anything in the process. But if you go through A, B, C, if you go through all those valleys and those hills and jump off a few cliffs and swim with a few great white sharks and survive to tell the story, at the end of the day, that's how you learn the lesson. So like John said, don't discount the negative experiences because that's where the true power lies. That's where you learn about yourself, you learn about your environment, you learn about others, and you're a little bit wiser. Thank you, John.
I want to thank you for everybody that actually watched this. We're calling it Having the Fun with John. I want everybody to take a good look. No, I'm just saying. Baby G, I did it. Glenda, who? No, but what I'm saying is, thank you for letting me try this. And yes, I do want my own talk show now. That's like a little addiction, but whatever.
Good.
It's all good. But, no, but honestly, thank you very much for joining us and Having the Fun with John on the special edition of Meticulous Moments.
Yes.
Yes, and I think I did pretty good.
You did so well. You did so well. We have to celebrate. I just want to tell the audience, let's take them behind the scenes a little bit because I like to do that. You guys have no idea how John and I struggled to get on here.
Oh,
We like for StreamYard links. We went on to Zoom, and then we went off of Zoom, and then finally we were like, okay, we're going to do this. So John is a very, very patient guy, to tell you that. Thank you, John. Thank you so much.
yeah, Glenda, did you hear that? I'm very patient, Glenda. Who? Glenda, who? Glenda, who? I'm very patient. So get off my God. But no, my battery died from all the logging in and logging off, as you just said. But no, I appreciate it. I really enjoyed this. I tried to keep up. I tried to remember the questions that you asked me. It was a good time, and thank you for sharing it. Like I said, I don't talk bad about anybody, never will.
No, we don't.
I do say that I do not wish them the best, though. I really don't, because some people, that's just from me to God, and I trust God. God handles them, so it's all good.
Well, everyone, thank you for joining us, John. You were an excellent host. Really had fun with you as always, and much appreciated. And have a beautiful day. And we'll speak soon.
Hey, thank you very much. Stay blessed, and thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Bye, guys. See you in the next session. Bye.